evening, and welcome to Historically Black Sense News, the center of collegiate media. I'm Heaven Cunningham.
And I'm Deuce Tucker, your new Historically Black Sense news co-anchor. Now, before we dive into tonight's topics, let's do a quick roll call. We need some energy in the chat. Drop a comment below and rep your HBCU. We're the Rattlers.
Cheney, hold on, we got my CU in the chat. Okay. Yes, see you. Now, let's get into our lineup for tonight. Tonight, we're featuring dynamic alumni, Black Greek life, HBCU dancers, and more. So let's jump right in.
Now, for our first highlight, we're shouting out Tuskegee University alumna and Decatur, Alabama native, Alondria Carthen, who has been selected to be a new cast member on the national TV show, Love Island. Let's take a look.
Hey, listen, Love Island has got a whole lot blacker and bolder. Tuskegee University, stand up, because y'all sis, Alondria Carthen just slid into season 7 of Love Island USA. That's right, she not just bringing the beauty, she bringing that HBCU boss energy to the villa, and we are here for it. The official cast dropped this Thursday, and Alondria popped out as one of the 5 new female Islanders, looking like a whole snack. And get this, the show premieres this June 3rd, so go ahead and set that reminder, because we're supporting our own all summer long. Now, you already know we rooting for everybody Black, and especially our HBCU queens doing big things on national TV. So Tuskegee, throw up that TU pride and let them know that we don't just make history, we make headlines. That's it for now from your fave, Freedom McKee. Stay woke, stay fly, and stay repping these Black colleges right. I'll catch y'all next time with more HBCU news from the yard.
Okay. Now, the show and new season premieres today on Peacock. So make sure everyone watches to support her.
Yes, queen. Our next highlight is an alum from Winston-Salem State University. Do we have any Rams in the house? All right now. Raju Carew just won the NASCAR Truck Series in Nashville, Tennessee. Take a glance at his interview.
Helmet off. He just said they won the race for us.
There comes the crew.
Josh, what a happy winner and well-deserved.
A big-time celebration for Rajah Caruth, his second career win in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, as he gets a hug from his father, a hug from his girlfriend as well. A special moment for Rajah, certainly, and this team. And like you mentioned, Jamie, the pit crew was really big and instrumental in helping them get through this one. Rajah, you told me earlier today, right? You said, I am one excellent day away from getting a win and getting back into the playoffs. How's that for an excellent day?
I didn't expect that at all. Those guys were breathing down my neck the whole run. My pit crew won that race. Jerry, Zico, Dawson, Josh, Cody. Yeah, they won that race for us. Got us off pit road twice. So thanks to them. Thanks to Mr. H, Miss Linda, everybody at HendrickCars.com, the men and women at Spire Motorsports Chevrolet. We've been off this year, but good to get a dub tonight, man. I'm sorry I'm out of breath, but that was a lot of fun.
What's going through your mind as Corey Heim, a guy that has 4 wins already this season, is barreling down on you towards the end of that race, trying to hold off him and Lane Riggs as well?
Yeah, I don't know. I just ask myself, how bad do you want it? I think it's, I don't know. I just try my best, and we had clean air, and their stuff was better, but I just did my best. That was it.
Rajah Caruth, your winner at Nashville.
Yes, man. This is Rajah's second career Truck Series win. I know Winston-Salem's community is so proud. Shout out to their brother. What a phenomenal job. Congratulations to him.
Yes. And just like Rajah, we are zooming right on to our next topic of the night. Winston-Salem is not the only school that has something to be proud of tonight. 15 students from Virginia State University were selected to participate in the NASA 2025 Lunabotics Challenge. VSU was the only HBCU in the entire competition. Let's take a look. Yes.
Huge shout out to those students at Virginia State. Way to represent. Now, continuing the Black excellence, Tennessee State University's gospel choir won twice in a row at the How Sweet the Sound gospel choir competition. Let's watch.
Wow. Congratulations to Tennessee State for taking home 2 consecutive awards, one in the HBCU choir category and the other in the People's Choice Award, because I know they're my choice.
Okay, let's say it again. But now we're going straight to the South for our last 2 features before our intermission. Now, Texas Southern University, are y'all here? Check out our recap of Texas Southern's motion dancers performing at the DreamCon charity basketball game.
Come on now.
Come on now, they're doing their thing now.
I'm a good HBCU dancer.
And that's class and precision.
Yes. Have me coming out of retirement for cheer senior year. Okay.
Oh man, this is one thing I love, in regards of the majorettes from high school to college. They always bring that energy, and they always have the motion in the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah, them girls going crazy.
Ocean is definitely the most appropriate name here.
And they got the band in the back, hyping up.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I love
HBCU
that.
pride, for real.
Come on, it's nothing better. And speaking of games, that brings us to our last highlight of the night. I need a drum roll for this one. Yeah, because I know we have some students and alumni from the Tuskegee University. Tuskegee University, are you here? Tuskegee is set to host their first nighttime home football game against Ohio's own Central State University on September 6, 2025. Let's take a look. Look at those lights, man. I've been to a Tuskegee football game during the day. At night, when that maroon and gold was lighting up, oh, man.
No, I have yet to experience my first nighttime football game, so I love this for them.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there got to be some changes. And nothing like a nighttime football game, especially in the South, because it gets hot in the morning and in the afternoon as well. Especially in Tallahassee, Florida. Woo, tiles and fans everywhere.
Okay, September 6th, 2025.
Believe it.
Period. Because the Golden Tigers versus the Invincible Miranders. I cannot wait. I'm so eager to see how that's going to go. Central State, if you're here, show some love in the comments as well. Now it's time for our HBCU fun fact of the week. Did you know that Paul Quinn College in Dallas, Texas is the only HBCU designated as an urban work college? This is a method that allows students to work their tuition off while in school. An expert from the Paul Quinn College website states the following: that the work program strives to poverty-proof the education experience by 1, providing students with a meaningful work opportunity that allows them to better themselves and serve the Paul Quinn community. 2, developing the necessary skills, habits, and experiences needed to be a competitive in the 21st century job market. And 3, actively contributing towards the cost of their own educations.
Well, I love that. Loan debt
are you in? $0. $0. Debt-free scholar. Hello.
Nothing.
Zero.
Wow, I love that. That's emphasizing Black excellence. Now let's head into our interview portion of the evening with our host, Shamai Cook. Good evening, Shamai.
Good evening, Deuce, and welcome to the team. And what? Good evening, Heaven. Listen, I wish I had $0 going out to college too. Me and you,
I wish I
right?
could be like zero, nothing.
You're gonna be like Chris Brown, zero. Okay, well, that's another song, but we digress. We didn't want to pay for that song. But thank you guys so much for for welcoming in. So our first guest tonight is a Southern University alumna and is an emerging sports journalist heading to Temple University for her master's degree. She has interned with top leagues like the NFL and the NBA, and she recently won the 2024 NFL HBCU Experience Ship and earned a Sports Emmy. Yes, she's an Emmy Award winning. She got a grant for her documentary called The Hidden Sport. Please welcome Ashley Lovelace to the show. Welcome, Ashley.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Welcome to the show. First of all, I want to congratulate you. I have an Emmy Award winning journalist in my presence. Talk about, your experience getting to this moment that you are being an Emmy Award winning journalist, and talk about the process of going to creating this Hidden Sport documentary.
Thank you. It's still surreal to me. I can't believe that all of this has happened, but I can't take all the credit. I am one of five. There were five of us, a part of this wonderful group that created this documentary, The Hidden Sport. Our director, Lauren Sullivan. I was a producer on the film. We had two other writers on the film, Sydney Coulier and Eric White, and a production assistant, Vervin Muhammad Jr. So I can't take all the credit. It was definitely a group effort, but we're super proud of what we created. The film is based upon the past, present, and future of sports at our university. That was the prompt for the competition. But we decided to do it from the point of view from the band, because we all know at a HBCU, you can't talk about athletics without talking about an HBCU band. So that was the idea that came from our director, Lauren Sullivan, and we all worked together to get these interviews and to get this footage and put it together, and it ended up molding into this one beautiful masterpiece, and we ended up coming out with a win, so I can't complain about that. Super excited, very proud to be a Southern Jag.
So talk about what made you want to get into sports media or being a journalist in particular. You have covered a lot of games and stuff, and what inspired you to get into this business, into the sports media industry?
Okay. Well, I have to give a lot of the credit to my grandmother. Initially, when I decided that I was going to come back to school, I did not know what I wanted to do. And so she had asked me a long time ago, Ashley, what are you good at? What do you love? And so I was like, well, I'm good at a lot of things. She said, okay, well, what do you love? And I love to write. I've always been a writer. I've been keeping a journal since I was about 10, 11 years old. And I always had the gift to gab. And I came from an athletic household. Mom was a superb athlete. Dad was a college baseball Hall of Famer. Older brother, phenomenal basketball player. So it just kind of fell into the wraps for me to also play sports. But she said, okay, well, let's combine the two things that you love and what you're good at, and then go to school for that. And that's how we kind of came upon this sports journalism journey. And when I got to Southern and I sat in the press box for the first time, it was like, oh yeah, this is home. I need to be there. And it's been hit the ground running ever since.
Talk about your experiences. Like I said in the intro, you have worked with the NFL and the NBA. Talk about your experiences and what have you learned from being in those rooms, being in those press, like you say, in those press boxes, in those press corps. What have you learned from those experiences?
The first I will say is you have to be ready for anything. I think a lot of times we look at journalism and a lot of people see the glitz and the glamour because they see what's in front of the camera, but they don't see all the work and all the preparation, the research, the time, the interview, everything that goes into putting into this pretty little package that happens. So being in a fast-paced environment, preparing me, saying, okay, not only are you deserving of being in this space, you're worthy of being in this space, but there is something that Ashley Lovelace can add to this room that nobody else can add to this room. And being able to be in rooms with league executives, not just from the NBA and the NFL, but also NHL and MLB as well, affirming me like, yes, girl, you got it. You're on the right track, was just like icing on the cake for me.
Talk about, what have you learned? You're going into grad school. Why did you want to go to grad school? Temple, and why Temple?
Okay, so I'm a non-traditional student. So I'm a little on the older spectrum, and I came back to Southern after a 12-year break, and a lot of motivations, a lot of peaks and valleys. I was sick. I had to get better, got sick again, had to get better again. And when I finally got back into Southern, I had a game plan. I know a lot of people, when they come out of college initially, when you're fresh out of high school, everybody's just excited to go, but there's not necessarily a game plan. The beauty in going to school later in life is I've experienced a little bit more. So I knew what I wanted to do and I knew how I needed to execute it. Me going to graduate school now and becoming a Temple Owl, and it's home to alum like Tamron Hall, Mark Lamont Hill. There's a bunch of people that I would be following in the footsteps for, and the program is great. The Klein College of Communication is top tier. Philadelphia is the fourth largest market, and not to mention it's 20 minutes across the bridge from me because I'm a Jersey girl, so it's close to home.
Okay.
Yes, it is close to home, so I'm super excited to get my feet wet in a space that's outside of the HBCU world. I'm getting both sides of the coin, which was really important to me. And I knew that if I took another break, I wasn't going back to school. So I'm glad that I'm getting it done now. So after this master's degree, I'll be done May 2026. And then prayerfully, it's working at a network. Somewhere you'll be seeing my face on somebody's TV reporting on all your favorite sports.
One more thing before we let you go. Talk about, how important is diversity to you in the newsroom? Being a woman of color, sometimes you're told you're not pretty enough, you're not worthy enough. How do you handle that type of adversity and still execute your plan and your goal?
Diversity is huge. And I think for me, being someone that has experienced those negative comments, I would say, I'm not your typical model size 6. I'm not the Victoria's Secret lookalike. However, still fly. Yes. Still beautiful. Yes. In my own right. But when you don't come from what society says is typically beautiful or typically aesthetically pleasing, the notion is that people aren't going to want to listen to you. And going to Southern, first and foremost, being at that university and walking those halls, and it was like, excuse me, I'm a preacher's kid. My mom was a reverend, but God affirmed my steps every single step of the way and everything that I did. So I knew the movements that I was making were necessary and the time was right for that. So I can't really say it's something that is a deterrent for me now. Had it been me 18, 19 years old, I could see how those things could deter someone from pushing across their dream. But I went back to school. I did it. I'm still doing it. It's never too late. And if I could be any type of inspiration to anybody else, is never give up on your dream. Those things are planted in you for a reason, and God's going to water it. Just keep being consistent.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. And we got an Emmy award-winning Ashley Lovelace. Where do you have your Emmy before we let you go? Do each of the group mates get an Emmy, or just one Emmy for the group?
It's not so we'll all get one, but it's not in my possession as of right now. Everything's going to get mailed to us, but holding it was definitely a moment for me, for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Up having me.
All right. Up next we have Up next, we have our honorable trailblazer from Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia. As an Atlanta native, with three children, four grandchildren, and being the first generation college student, she got her degree at the age of 56 in general studies with a double concentration in music and organizational management and leadership. Please welcome Archisha Edwards to the show. Welcome to the show, Miss Edwards.
Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I am well. Thank you so much for stopping by. First of all, I want to say this. I want to commend you. You know, going to get your degree at such a I want to say a seasoned age, as they say. What talk about the background of wanting to go get your education?
Well, if I could start from the beginning, I actually started Morris Brown in 1986
Okay.
when I graduated from high school. And I attended from 86 to 87. At the time, I was in an abusive relationship.
Wow.
And I left school. I tried to come back in 1992 to 93, but the trauma from the first time that I was there was still haunting me. And even though things weren't happening in my mind, they were still happening. So I kind of quit school. Yeah, I kind of quit. And at that time, I just didn't see myself being able to go to college. When I had finally made up my mind to go back to school, Morris Brown had lost its accreditation. The school never closed, but it just wasn't accredited. So I said, okay, Lord, it's not my time right now. And so in 2022, when it got its accreditation back, I said, thank you, Jesus, because Morris Brown was the only school that I ever wanted to attend and graduate from. So I looked into it. I made a phone call to Ms. McKenzie and Dr. Allen. They put my original transcript from 1986 and said, let's go. So in January of 2023, I started back at Morris Brown, picking up where I left off.
You know, that's a story right there. Let's talk about why was it so important for you to keep going? You know, what was it in your mind to say, I can't let this, the abuse that you were going through stop you?
There were a couple of factors. For one, to my children, I always wanted my children to succeed me. And if I couldn't prove to be a success, how can I tell them this? So that was the first thing. I did it for them. The second, I did it for my parents because they did go to college, but they didn't finish. So I was more so a dream deferred times 2 or 3. And it was important for me to allow them to see me walk across that stage. And when I thought about it in 2022, at the time, they were like 75, 76. Both of my parents are now 78 years old. So they were closer to being on the other side than this side. And so it was very important to me to let them see me make that accomplishment.
Let's talk about your efforts. Why was it the type of degree you pursued in general studies, and you had the music background? What went into you choosing that major, that department, that concentration?
Originally in 1986, my major was accounting. Morris Brown right now does not have an accounting department. So when I came back to school, my minor was music. So I immediately jumped on to be a music major. Being a non-traditional student, I worked during the day, and there were not a lot of in-person classes in the evening and on weekends for music students. So if there are any music professors out there who have time to donate to the school on nights and weekends, you have students that would truly appreciate it. So after talking to my academic advisor, they told me that maybe I should change my major to general studies, but I could still keep my concentration in music, which is what I did. In taking those classes as well as the other classes that I could take, that's how I ended up with my second concentration in organizational management and leadership.
Let's talk about your what's your message to people who are non-traditional students who want to go back to school and but are afraid to. What are your message to them?
I was afraid. There were many nights I cried because I didn't understand the platforms we had to use. I didn't know the different terminology. I didn't understand what the cloud was, and I made a joke, and I was kind of serious when I made the joke. They told me that my work was in the cloud, and I said, so Jesus has my work, and everybody was laughing, but I really didn't understand fully what the cloud was. So I would just say to anybody that's afraid to go back, don't be afraid. Just go. Pair up with your instructors, let them know that you're older, let them know you don't understand, ask them to please give you some clarity, ask them to slow things down for you so that it's a little clearer and you too can succeed. I'm a living testimony because I'm not a social media person, I'm not computer savvy, I'm not tech savvy, but I was able to overcome all of that. So you can do it.
Well, Ms. Edwards, we appreciate you so much for coming on, and we commend you for your greatness. Congratulations. What's next for you? What's next for you post-grad? That you got your degree.
Well, right now I'm actually talking to someone at the Marcus Center because I want to be a music therapist for autistic children.
Wow. Oh, we commend you. Thank you so much for your greatness, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Here's your props to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Well, our final guests tonight are the newly elected president and vice president of the Morehouse College Student Government Association. It's Kenny, Hugo, and Javon Feliciano. Let's welcome them to the show. Welcome, Javon and Kenny.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
It's good.
Can you hear you loud and clear. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing very good and blessed. How about you?
I am blessed, black, and highly favored. Javon, old friend, how are you? Welcome back to the show. Can you hear me, Javon?
Here, I would say, I think around the March time frame, but it's a pleasure to be back. I
think we're having some connection issues with Javon. Well, I'm gonna start off with Kenny while we fix Javon's connection issues. What's your plans going into this school year? You have a new president now, and a Morehouse alumni. And what are your plans for this school year, this coming school year for Morehouse College?
I have a lot of plans. I've already been working with Javon and a few of our advisors to plan stuff. But one of my biggest goals is to be more collaborative and also bring in the new president so that he's more heads-on. So he has one son at Morehouse who just graduated and one who's a incoming sophomore at Morehouse. So I just want him to be able to come to our events, give us feedback, and just allow us to collaborate effectively. We're making relationships with our sister school over at Spelman and our cousins at Clark. We're meeting monthly so we can plan events and initiatives so we can all collaborate and just execute together.
Yeah, F. Du Bois Bowman, is the newly elected president. But HBCUs across the country, this not just at Morehouse, are facing some cuts from the government, from the administration in the White House and President Donald Trump. How is Morehouse colleges and the student body affected? Trying to address the situation. How does it affect your student body, and how you guys are moving forward with the decisions coming from the White House?
So once again, we all know what's going on at the White House, but the way we combat that is by standing firm where we are. We had to have our brothers back, lean on each other, and just continue to move forward. Morehouse College, Spelman College, and other HBCUs across the nation, we were created for reasons like this. When we don't have the resources or don't have all the tools we need to succeed, we just come together, use our brains to continue to just move forward in every single aspect.
Javon, being the vice president, what made you want to get into student government? Let's talk about that. And why did this you I know you were a senator at large for last year or previous years. What made you want to get into this position as vice president? Javon.
Thank you, Shemai. I really wanted to enter this position as vice president to serve alongside Kenny. We definitely wanted to be in SJR freshmen, have that chance. We wanted to be able to represent body, to be able to advocate for the needs that we want to see happen. But it's been an incredible experience serving Kenny. He was a secretary in the executive branch. I was able to collaborate together, and we have a track doing that. And we realized as secretary/senator, we can manage these events effectively. We can bring this at a bigger scale. And so that work has been evident, which is why we've been elected to continue that work.
Kenny, what things have you learned, from, being secretary, you're a business administration student. How has, some of the classes and the stuff that you have learned in your business administration, courses help you, to be the leader that you're about to be? You're going in to be, excuse me.
Thank you. So one thing that I learned about, especially in my business classes, so my concentration is actually accounting, and one thing that I take into my leadership is the attention to detail. With accounting and we're doing books, if you get one number off, that messes up the whole balance sheet, that messes up the whole income statement. So bringing that attention to detail over to leadership. So now whenever a student needs something, whenever a parent needs something, whenever a faculty member needs something, we have everything down to the minute detail and organized so everybody's on the same page and nobody's confused about what's going on. That way we can all move together effectively and we can just accomplish the goal together.
Yeah, this summer you're interning at Goldman Sachs, a private wealth management company. What have you learned? So, what's your experience like so far?
So I actually start next week in the Houston office, and I'm actually from Houston, so I'm excited about that. But wealth management, like you just asked me about business, I like the industry because I'm able to combine my skills of being a people person, talking with people, and the money aspect of accounting, making portfolios, making budgets. And when you bring those two together, I'm able to converse with the clients, talk to them about their personal lives. So for example, if a client wants to start a business or a client wants to leave money in retirement for their kids or their grandkids, I'm able to work them through that process and ultimately help them set up a future. And then now I want to be able to bring that to Black families as well. So we're building generational wealth on a bigger scale.
Both of you guys, what's one thing that you have for this school year? What's your main objective for this school year going into 2026, 2025, 2026 school year?
I would speak first. So I would say my main objective is to impact as many people as I can. So a little bit about my background. I'm the first generation to come to HBCU. And I said I was from Houston. And when I moved to Atlanta, I didn't have any family or anybody to kind of guide me. But the first day I was at Morehouse during new student orientation, it was like a whole brotherhood that opened up to me, people having my back, people looking out for me, and people who believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. So that's what I hope to do in my presidency and in my senior year, just looking out for every single freshman or student that just walks through the gates of Morehouse College and making an impact, whether that's helping them with their resume, helping them with their LinkedIn, helping them find scholarships or internships, but just taking those steps every single day so nobody feels left out and everybody feels a part of the Morehouse Brotherhood.
Javon?
Yeah, hopefully my connection is good. But especially what he just said, looking out for the average student. We ain't think first generation HBCU student. We had to make a way when there wasn't a way, and we want to make sure with leadership roles, with different opportunities on campus, we're giving it to everyone. That it does not remain for a select few, which is happen across the country and in different areas as well. But we want to make sure we spread opportunities for everyone, and so I'm just so excited for the work that we're going to do this year. And I know under Kenny's leadership, we're going to make sure we get that done and continue to bridge that gap between the students.
Well, thank you guys so much. Good luck this coming school year to both of you. Javon, you got the 89th Vice President-elect for Morehouse College, and you have Kenny Ugo, the 94th President-elect of Morehouse College. Thank you guys so much for coming on Historically Black Sense News. That does it for me. Back to you, Deuce and Heaven.
Yes, sir. What an amazing job, Shemai. Now, for our last segment of the night, we're highlighting our campus organization of the week, Wilberforce University's Dog Team Media. Having begun their program under the direction of digital media a few months ago, the media team has been exciting success with students already featured in local and city news. Shout out to the Woo, Wilberforce University, and leave a comment if we have any Bulldogs tuned in with us tonight.
And that concludes this week's show. Thank you all so much for tuning in with us. Huge shout out to our director, Destin R., our superb host, Shemai Cook, and our remarkable scriptwriter, Christian Locke. Special shout out to our new co-anchor, Mr. Deuce Tucker. I am Heaven Cunningham, your favorite news anchor, with the latest and the greatest historically Black sense news. We hope to see you all next week, Tuesday.